Earl Nightingale's story begins like that of any ordinary person, yet his journey would go on to change the lives of millions. Born in 1921, Earl grew up facing the harsh realities of life from an early age. His family struggled financially, and the challenges of the world became apparent to young Earl long before most children had to understand them. He was just a regular boy, yet there was something extraordinary within him, a quiet determination, an inner spark, and an unshakable desire to transform his dreams into reality. After World War II, Earl, like many young people of his generation, sought new opportunities. The world was a place where fate could be rewritten through effort, determination, and clear thinking, yet few truly understood how to harness that potential. Earl realized that success was not a matter of luck or coincidence. It was the natural outcome of a disciplined mind and a purposeful life. He wanted not only to change his own life, but also to inspire others, to illuminate a path for those who felt lost or uncertain. The journey, of course, was far from easy. Earl worked various jobs, often questioning if he was truly making progress. Yet in the midst of struggle, he stumbled upon one of life's most profound truths: we become what we think about. This simple yet revolutionary concept became a guiding light for him. Every day, every decision, Earl focused his mind on positivity, clarity, and a defined purpose. He learned that the keys to success were found not in chance, but in consistent effort and deliberate thought. By the 1950s, Earl Nightingale had embarked on a career in radio broadcasting. What might have seemed like an ordinary voice soon captivated listeners across the nation. Through his broadcasts, Earl shared the principles of success, the power of positive thinking, and insights that connected deeply with people's everyday struggles. He spoke not from a place of abstract theory, but from personal experience, showing that anyone, regardless of background, could achieve greatness if they understood the laws of success. Earl's most famous work, The Strangest Secret, recorded in 1956, would become a turning point not just in his life, but in the field of personal development worldwide. In it, he revealed a truth that was both simple and profound, that success and failure are products of our own thoughts. He emphasized that wealth, happiness, and fulfillment are not given. They are grown from the soil of focused, intentional thinking and persistent action. He often illustrated his teachings with practical advice. He encouraged people to define their goals clearly, to visualize them daily, and to act consistently toward achieving them. He stressed that a goal without a plan is merely a wish, and a life without purpose drifts aimlessly. Through his broadcasts and later writings, he inspired countless individuals to examine their own thoughts, discard limiting beliefs, and step into the life they truly desired. Earl's philosophy was not just theoretical, it was lived. He meticulously applied these principles in his own life, turning challenges into opportunities. Financial hardships, societal limitations, and early career setbacks never deterred him. Instead, they became stepping stones, lessons to refine his vision and deepen his understanding of human potential. He believed in the untapped power within every individual, and his mission became sharing that belief with the world. Listeners were drawn to Earl not just for his words, but for the authenticity and clarity with which he spoke. He had a way of making complex ideas accessible, of turning abstract concepts like success and positive thinking into tangible, actionable steps. For many, hearing Earl's voice was transformative, a wake-up call that their circumstances did not define their destiny. By the time he recorded The Strangest Secret, Earl had perfected the art of connecting with people on a deeply personal level. He spoke as a mentor, a guide, and sometimes as a friend who understood the struggles of ordinary life. Millions of people listened, and the recording became one of the first spoken-word programs to receive a gold record. His message spread rapidly, influencing generations of motivational speakers, entrepreneurs, and anyone striving to achieve more than they ever thought possible. Earl Nightingale's journey from a struggling young man to an iconic figure in personal development is a testament to the transformative power of mindset, purpose, and perseverance. His life proves that no matter how humble your beginnings, you can create a meaningful, successful life when you understand the principle that we truly become what we think about. As Earl Nightingale's influence grew, he began to realize that success was not simply about money or recognition. It was about mastering one's own mind. He often emphasized that most people live their lives in a fog of distraction, reacting to circumstances instead of actively shaping them. Earl's teachings urged people to take control, to understand that their thoughts were not fleeting or insignificant, but the very foundation upon which their futures would be built. He encouraged daily reflection and self-assessment, suggesting that each person should ask themselves a simple question every morning: what is the one one thing I can do today that will bring me closer to my goal? This small practice, repeated consistently, could shift the trajectory of anyone's life. Earl believed that greatness was not reserved for the gifted or wealthy. It was earned by those willing to think with clarity, act with intention, and persevere through obstacles. During this time, Earl also became a pioneer in using recorded audio programs to teach personal development. Before this, most motivational teachings were delivered live, in person. Earl saw the potential of recorded media to reach thousands of people simultaneously. He created programs that people could listen to repeatedly, embedding the principles of success into their daily routines. This innovation helped him spread his message further than anyone could have imagined at the time. One of the key principles Earl championed was the importance of goal setting. He didn't see goals as abstract wishes, but as actionable steps toward a clearly defined destination. He advised people to write down their goals, to read them aloud daily, and to visualize themselves achieving them. In his view, the human mind is like a fertile garden. Whatever you plant through thought, imagination, and belief will grow. Neglect your garden, and weeds of doubt and fear will take over. Tend it carefully, and success and fulfillment will flourish. Earl also stressed the significance of attitude. He understood that life would present challenges, setbacks, and disappointments, but a person's attitude determined whether these obstacles would defeat them or become lessons for growth. He frequently reminded his listeners that while we cannot always control external circumstances, we can control our response to them. This simple truth, though often overlooked, was at the heart of every great achievement. Despite his growing success, Earl remained humble. He often shared stories of his own struggles, making his message relatable and genuine. People could see that he had faced failure, uncertainty, and financial hardship, yet he had risen above it through deliberate thought, discipline, and a refusal to give up. By sharing his journey authentically, he inspired listeners to believe that they too could overcome their own challenges, no matter how insurmountable they seemed. Earl Nightingale's teachings also delved into the power of self-image. He believed that the way we see ourselves determines the limits of our potential. If a person believes they are capable, worthy, and deserving of success, they are far more likely to achieve it. Conversely, negative self-perception and doubt can sabotage even the most talented individuals. He encouraged daily affirmation, positive self-talk, and surrounding oneself with influences that reinforced growth and achievement. Another cornerstone of his philosophy was the idea of continuous learning. Earl understood that the world is constantly changing and that those who stop growing mentally, emotionally, and professionally risk stagnation. He advocated reading, listening to inspiring material, and constantly seeking knowledge that could elevate one's life. For him, learning was not a task, but a lifelong journey, and embracing it could unlock doors to opportunities that might otherwise remain closed. By the late 1950s and early 1960s, Earl Nightingale had become a household name in the personal development world. People across the United States and eventually around the globe were listening to his programs and adopting his principles. His ability to simplify profound truths into practical advice set him apart. He wasn't promising overnight miracles. He was teaching a disciplined, thoughtful approach to life that produced results over time. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Earl's journey was how he turned personal philosophy into action. He didn't merely speak about the power of thought and purpose. He embodied it. Every program, every lecture, every word he shared was a reflection of a life committed to deliberate action. He demonstrated that success is not an accident or a stroke of luck, but the inevitable outcome of focused thinking, clear goals, and consistent effort. Through the decades, his message remained timeless. We become what we think about became more than just a phrase. It became a mantra for anyone seeking to improve their life. Earl Nightingale showed the world that the path from struggle to success is always possible, regardless of one's starting point, as long as one commits to mastering the mind and taking purposeful action. As Earl Nightingale's influence spread, his philosophy began to shape not just individuals, but entire communities. People who had once felt trapped by circumstances discovered a new sense of control over their lives. Earl's teachings highlighted that success is rarely a matter of chance. Rather, it is the natural result of disciplined thought, intentional actions, and unwavering belief in oneself. He urged his listeners to take responsibility for their own lives, to realize that blaming the world for their problems was futile, and that the power to change existed within each of them. Earl's emphasis on clarity of purpose became a cornerstone of his message. He argued that without a clearly defined goal, a person drifts aimlessly, reacting to life rather than shaping it. Writing down goals, reviewing them daily, and committing to their attainment were not just suggestions, they were strategies to program reprogram the mind for success. Earl often reminded his audience that the human mind is like a magnet, attracting experiences and opportunities aligned with its dominant thoughts. The clearer and more focused those thoughts, the more effectively one could shape reality. One of the most remarkable aspects of Earl's teachings was his insistence on practical application. He didn't offer empty slogans or temporary motivation. He gave a roadmap for life. He encouraged listeners to examine their daily habits, to replace procrastination with purposeful action, and to cultivate resilience in the face of setbacks. Every obstacle, every failure became an opportunity to learn and strengthen one's resolve. In Earl's philosophy, struggle was not a barrier, but a vital ingredient of success. Earl also understood the importance of environment. He frequently advised his listeners to surround themselves with individuals who reinforced their growth, people who inspired, motivated, and challenged them to be better. Negative influences, he argued, could silently sabotage even the most determined individuals. By consciously choosing one's environment, be it friends, mentors, or media, Earl believed that a person could create a fertile ground for success to flourish. Beyond material success, Earl Nightingale emphasized personal integrity and character. Wealth and fame were valuable only if accompanied by honesty, compassion, and ethical behavior. He believed that true success encompassed all areas of life: financial, personal, relational, and spiritual. To neglect one aspect was to invite imbalance, and Earl encouraged a holistic approach, reminding people that meaningful success is sustainable only when it is rooted in strong values. As his teachings evolved, Earl continued to innovate in the field of personal development. He produced hundreds of radio programs, recorded numerous audio programs, and authored books that distilled his philosophy into practical guidance. Yet, despite his growing fame, he remained humble and approachable. Listeners often remarked on the sincerity in his voice, the clarity in his explanations, and the relatability of his examples. Earl never claimed to have all the answers. He simply shared the truths he had discovered through a lifetime of observation, reflection, and experimentation. The core of Earl Nightingale's legacy lies in one fundamental principle: thought precedes action, and action produces results. He argued that most people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they fail to control their thoughts. Doubt, fear, and negative thinking can quietly dictate life's outcomes unless deliberately countered with purpose, clarity, and persistence. Earl's work provided the tools to recognize these mental barriers and replace them with empowering beliefs that lead to achievement. Earl's influence extended far beyond the United States. His programs reached international audiences, inspiring people across cultures and generations. Entrepreneurs, students, artists, and professionals found guidance in his words. His concepts, goal setting, positive thinking, self-discipline, and personal responsibility became foundational principles in the growing field of personal development. Many modern motivational speakers and authors credit Earl Nightingale as a pivotal influence in shaping their understanding of success and human potential. Even decades after his most famous recordings, his philosophy remains relevant. The timelessness of his teachings lies in their universality. Success is not about circumstances, luck, or innate talent. It is about mindset, deliberate thought, and consistent, purposeful action. In a world where distractions abound and immediate gratification tempts, Earl's message reminds us to focus, to define our goals, and to act in alignment with our highest purpose. Ultimately, Earl Nightingale's journey from struggle to success exemplifies the extraordinary power of the human mind. His life shows that even in the face of adversity, individuals can rise above limitations through clarity, persistence, and belief in themselves. He transformed his personal challenges into lessons for the world, demonstrating that the path to success is always possible for those who are willing to think deeply, act intentionally, and persevere relentlessly. As Earl Nightingale's life unfolded, it became clear that his true success lay not only in personal achievement, but in the impact he had on others. He had taken the lessons learned from struggle and failure and transformed them into a blueprint for living that countless people could follow. His philosophy emphasized that life is not something that simply happens to us. It is something we actively create through our thoughts, decisions, and actions. Earl often reminded his audience that the mind is a powerful tool capable of shaping reality in ways most people underestimate. He urged individuals to become the architects of their own destiny, to recognize that the circumstances they faced were only the starting point, not the limit of what they could achieve. Every challenge, setback, or disappointment was an opportunity to refine their thinking, strengthen their resolve, and move closer to their ultimate goals. He also highlighted the importance of persistence. Success, Earl explained, is rarely instant. It is the product of consistent effort over time, combined with unwavering faith in one's ability to achieve. He believed that those who quit at the first sign of difficulty would never experience the full rewards of life, whereas those who remained committed, disciplined, and focused would would inevitably succeed. This principle, simple yet profound, became a cornerstone of his teachings and a guiding light for countless individuals striving for improvement. Earl Nightingale's work went beyond mere motivation. It was a practical guide to living intentionally. He encouraged people to establish daily routines that reinforced positive thinking, purposeful action, and self-reflection. Listening to motivational recordings, reading inspirational books, writing down goals, and practicing affirmations were not mere habits. They were strategic tools to program the mind for success. By integrating these practices into daily life, Earl showed that transformation is not only possible but attainable for anyone willing to commit. One of Earl's most enduring lessons was the value of vision. He encouraged individuals to clearly define what they wanted in life, not in vague terms, but with precision and detail. By visualizing success, imagining its experience, and feeling the emotions associated with achievement, people could align their subconscious mind with their conscious efforts. Earl emphasized that clarity of vision creates focus, and focus drives consistent action, ultimately producing results. Earl's legacy also teaches the importance of contribution. While he spoke extensively about personal achievement, he understood that true fulfillment comes from helping others. By sharing knowledge, supporting others' growth, and inspiring change, individuals expand their own potential and create a ripple effect of positive impact. Earl's life exemplified this principle. He transformed personal insight into collective empowerment, leaving behind a body of work that continues to guide generations. Even decades after his passing in 1989, Earl Nightingale's teachings remain relevant, resonant, and transformative. The principles he shared, clarity of thought, purpose-driven action, persistence, self-discipline, positive attitude, and continuous learning, are timeless. They apply equally to students, professionals, entrepreneurs, and anyone seeking to unlock their potential and live a meaningful life. In reflecting on his journey, one truth stands out. Success is not reserved for the fortunate few. It is accessible to anyone who understands and applies the fundamental law of thought and action. Earl Nightingale's life demonstrates that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results when they commit to deliberate thinking, maintain focus on their goals, and act consistently with intention. From the struggles of his early life to his rise as a globally recognized motivational speaker, Earl Nightingale exemplified the principle that we become what we think about. His story is more than an inspiring biography. It is a practical guide for anyone seeking to transform their life. He proved that no matter where one begins, with clarity, persistence, and a commitment to personal growth, the journey from struggle to success is always possible. Ultimately, Earl Nightingale's journey is a testament to the extraordinary potential within each individual. He showed the world that success is not a matter of luck or circumstance, but a conscious creation of the mind. By understanding the power of thought, defining one's goals, taking consistent action, and embracing continuous learning, anyone can move from struggle to achievement. His legacy is a living reminder that greatness is not inherited. It is cultivated, nurtured, and earned through the relentless pursuit of purpose and the unwavering belief in oneself. Earl Nightingale's life continues to inspire millions, reminding us that the path from adversity to triumph is not a mystery, but a formula. Think clearly, act purposefully, persist relentlessly, and never stop growing. Through his words, teachings, and example, he left behind a timeless roadmap to success, empowering generations to rise above their circumstances and reach their highest potential.